My films, most of them are about Indigenous women, especially empowering stories about Indigenous women. Our women are pretty much written out of history. When students are reading history, it's mostly from the colonizer's point of view, and the Indigenous people are usually left out, or a lot of times they're written about kind of negatively. So that's just the way things are, and we need to change that. Katsitsionni Akwesasne Anuetkidlo. My name is Katsitsionni Fox. My name means I make flowers. I'm from Akwesasne, Mohawk Territory, part of the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and I'm Bear Clan. And the film is about the hidden history of how Haudenosaunee women influenced the women's rights movement. So I started maybe 3 years ago and timed it so that it would come out this year in 2020, because this year is the 100th year anniversary of the women's right to vote. And I wanted to tell the story of how our women influenced those early suffragettes, like where they got their ideas to fight for their rights.
History is not what happened, it's who tells the story.
These women had to see something that told them that it was possible.
For us, the Haudenosaunee people, we're a matrilineal society. Our identity comes through the women's side, so that's something that's innate in me, because that's the way our culture is. That's an honor that we have as women, to be able to bring life in the world, and that's something that's acknowledged, by the men. One of the things that I wanted to get across in the film is the difference in worldviews. So for us, in our creation story, a woman that first came here, Sky Woman, and created the earth, and then later had a daughter, and her daughter had twin boys, and they created everything else in balance. But that makes a big difference in like the stories that you're told, and the roles that women play in your culture makes a big difference in how you view yourself and how you carry yourself. Before European contact, domestic violence was pretty much unheard of in our villages, and things like that were just astounding for European women.
Grandma would say, "We're not feminists. We're the law."
With this year being the 100th anniversary, it's really time that this story is known. I'd like to see this in every school, both in secondary and in higher education. I'm hoping that it really gets out there. This could totally change the way people think about, the women's rights movement. So I think that's why it's so important for us to, as filmmakers, as teachers, as educators, as artists, that we start to share some of this history of the Indigenous people on the land.